that's the appropriations column. That's the amount of money that we said that we would take to operate the city for the fiscal year ending in 2013. But this figure here is for the amount of money it would take to operate the city for the fiscal year ending in 2012. Because we were supposed to have a budget in place by July the 1st of 2012 for fiscal year 2013. Now, the first budget was presented to the council in May of that year. But they decided that was not the budget that they wanted to do. They wanted a line item budget. So we came back with another budget and gave it to them in September of 2012 for the fiscal year ending in 2013. Now, these figures here are 8 months in the old year. We are 8 months in a new year without having passed a budget. You can only use 1 year of previous year's appropriations for a budget. Now, at the end of this year, 30 June, if we don't have a budget, we're closed down because we don't have any money appropriated. And what we'll have to do between now and then is either approve a budget or write to the Department of Local Government and tell them that we don't have a budget and see what the circumstances are for a city that's operating without a budget. Now, as far as amendments go, there are no amendments. You can't amend the budget if you don't have the budget, okay? So before we can amend the budget, you've got to approve the budget.
This was for the budget we did have.
We want FY12 budget.
So Carl, right now, or is the city operating on the July 1st, 2011 to the June 30th,
Yes.
2012?
Right. That's what these figures are right here.
That's what it is on.
And
right now, we've actually got 5 months left in the budget that's never been approved.
Right.
That right there. And that's one thing too, I know some of these budgets, and let me just say, you know, probably this is really one of the most important things for business to really be taken care of people, really. Because we as council people, our primary responsibility is to, you know, Carl's supposed to give us a budget 30 days prior to the budget. We look it over, we present it back to them. Then we need to amend, well, not amend, but we need to redo it. We have it redone before we ever approve it or anything like that. We've got to keep in mind those two things when we're putting budgets. We got a budget ordinance and we got a budget amendments. And when we're talking about amendments, it's so easy. People just say, well, we amend here, we amend there, we amend there. But if you've got a budget ordinance, it's supposed to be followed just like any ordinance that you approve or anything like that, and change it to a budget amendment. That has to be in that order, just like that. Just like transfers. When they make transfers from one account to the other account, that has to be brought before the council, approved, you know, just like everything like that. If you look in your budget, as KRSs and so forth, especially in 91A, 030, 13, so forth like that, and one, when we're talking about changing these amendments and budget like that, you know, we're supposed to immediately, when we appropriate enough money for a budget, we're not supposed to go over that budget, we know that. We appropriate X amount of dollars for the budget, we're supposed to stay on that, you know, right there. If we do have to amend it through the budget ordinance and the budget amendments and so forth like that, we should always do it then. It's a bad policy and practice to carry amendments out to the end of the year. Some cities does that, but if you look in your KRS, it's actually illegal. It's illegal. We're supposed to make budget amendments through our budget ordinance immediately. If we see there's not enough money appropriated in that fund, and us as a council immediately needs to take care of that problem. That's a serious problem, a very serious. So our responsibility as a city council and so forth. And you got to keep in mind too, if you're working on the budget, which y'all's last budget, we're working on the old budget, July 1st, 2011 through June 30, 2012, you got to keep in mind that that budget governs the spenders of funds that's to be spent on each one. So if I don't know what you all spent in the last 8 months, what I'm saying, under this budget, but if the expenditures in each department exceeded the previous budget that you all was working on, then we're illegal. It's not working out right.
And you're right by department.
Okay,
That's
but
right.
now, that's why I gave you this production report. Check, see the expenditures here in each column here. Year to
When are
date.
we
We
supposed
just
to get our
got this,
audit?
Mayor.
Well, I know it.
When are we supposed to have our audit?
It's finished, but let's go on with this right now, okay? Right for the time being, okay?
Well, that has to do with this, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said, as far as I'm concerned, it has to do with the budget, so we.
No, the audit's a calendar year, this is fiscal year.
I know.
Anyway, let's
Okay,
stay
go
with the
ahead, I'm
budget
sorry.
right now. But to see if we're over budgeted in any department, or if we're under budgeted in any department, you can tell from this month to date. That was this month's receipts in property tax, okay? Over there to the right of that is the year to date. We've collected 134,000, and that's, but at the beginning of the year, we were anticipating 160,000. We got.
And we gotta keep in mind too, Carl, we still got 4 or 5 more months
That's to
to
collect.
meet these minus percentage rates that we've got on.
Okay, that's right. We got 4 months to collect more property tax. And usually, if everybody does this, the estimated revenues is always, it should be less, really. It should be lower than what you're expecting. But you can see from these charts here, every item on here, same for the general fund, same for the water and sewer, same for the police and everything, that we are not spending more than what we're taking in. Now, as far as amendments go, they've changed that amendment requirement quite a bit. It's been made lesser requirements on the city, because like you got LGEA funds and MR, municipal road aid funds, that's local government economic assistance funds, that can be applied to road repairs, roof repairs, things of that nature. And you don't have to have an amendment for it. If you transfer that money into the general fund and pay for roof repairs, or pay for that,
Whatever it is.
whatever it's designated for, and there's no amendments required. And that auditor tells us we don't have to make any amendments because we have the money designated we're not spending LGEA funds to buy water tanks or buy water pipes and things. We're using water funds for that. And that's what he says, and it's,
Yeah, there's certain government things like that that you don't have to amend on that. I mean,
That's what it is.
they transfer from one fund to the other on that, and there's certain things you can't.
and they are getting more lenient on cities allowing them to operate like that. And it makes us, we don't have to pay high penalty payments for insufficient funds or that nature, because you can use the money for that purpose.
But let me say, and I'm really concerned, and I know we have a lot of things on our plate and a lot of issues and so forth, but I'm a real businessman, and I'm just really concerned because I feel bad as a council person if I go continue and not got a budget. So what do I need to do about it? Well, all my former council people, we really, as this being one of our most priority things, and it is a number one priority to me. To me, this is the number one priority as a council member right now for me. And I think, whatever we need to do, if we need to meet as our council people, we need to meet, really look it over, get really up on this, and let's do something about it and get it approved.
We've tried to have
I'm
workshops.
sure,
Yeah.
but I'm not being weak. What I'm saying is,
Yeah.
I feel like right now, if we've got snags and so forth in it, I think all of a sudden us council people needs to get together,
Yes.
Charles, get this budget right, prove it, so we can move on. That's
I
what I
agree.
do.
Because with the economy the way it is, and
I do too.
with
Because I don't,
severance money.
Most cities say, Joe, y'all never approve a council, y'all don't ever approve a budget. No, if I'm gonna be on a council, we're gonna get a budget approved whatever time it takes to get it done, and we need to do it. That needs to be one of our priorities.
I agree with you.
We're running out of time to get it done too, because it'll take, unless you have special call meetings, it's gonna take, you can't wait 1 month to have another meeting to do it.
No, this needs immediate attention.
Well, I tried that, when I was putting the messages in the trade, did I ever notify any of you that we needed to do the budget? Did I ever put anything in there saying, we need to look at the budget?
Carl, we've asked you time and time again to give us the proper information when it came to things you changed on this budget, and, like,
There you
you
have
added
it.
49,000 to the
You've had
fire
this
department.
5 months.
Let me finish, I didn't interrupt you. We asked you why you increased 49,000 on one occasion, it's just one, to the fire department. We wanted to know what that was for. You didn't tell us. You can't just increase something on the budget without letting us know what it's for. We're accountable for that money. I wanna know where it's going and how come. And it's, each department had increases on that budget you gave us.
Well, couldn't
I
you?
wanna know what those increases are for, and just like Jerry said, it is important to get one passed. But I also don't wanna find my hind end in a sling because we put something on there and we're responsible for some tax dollars that wind up missing or misappropriated. And that's my whole point with this budget.
Well, what do you suggest? What about this budget? Have you had time to look at this budget in the 4 months that you had it? I know jury and.
I've not, Carl, but I'm starting to,
And keep in mind, this is an estimate. This is an
Correct.
estimate. That's all it is. You can change it anytime you want to, and anything you do, you can undo. But we need a budget, and it's had the first reading. You can have the second reading tonight and approve it and change it any way you want to tomorrow, or anytime. But it's gotta be published in a newspaper too, before it can be effective. But if we run out of time, if you wanna make changes to it tonight, fine, and Danny will make changes to it tonight, if there's time. Whatever you wanna do, because we need the budget, that's, like the jury said, that's the primary responsibility of the council. That's about the only administrative function that they are to concern themselves with. Running the city administration and department operations and things of that nature, that's strictly up to the mayor. But keep this in mind, anytime that I do anything, the council they can disapprove anything that I do. All you have to do is vote and it's gone, it's out of the picture. You can't sit here and just nitpick on little things that don't mean too much. Let's get the budget done and then do the nitpicking.
So as council people, now I have to take Yvonne to the hospital tomorrow and Thursday and Friday, and then I'll be back if we all want to agree to, get together and look at it some way. But y'all more familiar with it than I am.
Yeah, we need the workshop.
I mean,
Yeah, we need a
I want me a couple of days to really look through it and digest it some and check and see.
We need to go through this in the personnel manual.
And I'm sure,
Yeah,
you
personnel
know,
manual
the council, you
seriously
might not have
outdated.
all the information that we have.
Not Charles, I really
And
don't.
that will help
And
a
like I
lot.
said, I had to admit, I'm not.
My
been
biggest
doing
thing is where we've had decreases in our coal severance money, and that's gonna hurt everybody all the way around, is we're gonna have to look at each department and make sure that we can afford, just use it for instance, don't
Give
shoot.
me a date and a time that you can have the meeting, and
Let me finish.
we'll go ahead and announce it and get it in the newspaper, make sure it's legal, okay? And it'll be for, so just give me a date and time, and we can go right on to some,
Tuesday next week, this time.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
I lost track of it too.
It could be a good time.
Yeah, Tuesday's
For
okay.
me, I mean,
Well, Leslie and David can't come if they can, it had to be now.
We could do Tuesday the same time next Tuesday.
What time?
I
What
can
is
be here
Tuesday?
by 5.
Tuesday. Oh, I guess that calendar helped me with it.
Are you all open
You
Monday?
got 19, yeah.
would that be all right, y'all?
I can do it.
I can too.
And we need
Because
to
I'll be
talk to
back from the
Congress, they haven't passed one in 4 years.
Yeah.
Well, I sent her